Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another installment for Fast Quick live for IE Sports Radio. You're the reason for all his sports. Ryan solo tonight. Locke is out of state with family. Hopefully, he'll join us next week. On tonight's show, we're talking feast week in college basketball. A lot of upsets happened, a lot of good games happened. We'll discuss who came out for the better of it, who came out the worst of it. Also, we'll go, what do the records look like after feast week? UConn lost 3 straight in Maui. Houston lost a couple games. Alabama lost in the finals of the Players era. Oregon still undefeated as well. Memphis has a strong showing as well. Auburn won the Maui tournament. So lots of lots of jumbling there in the records for the men's basketball right there. Plus on the women's side, UCLA wins big. Teams win big. Upset score, TCU beating Notre Dame, and so forth. We'll discuss that as well. Also, I want to dive into something real quick. Why the NBA ratings are falling in a downward spiral for the past couple of years. I won't touch on that here tonight, but we'll touch on that and much more here for Fast Break Live for IE Sports Radio. You're the reach for all of sports. I'll catch you on the other side after these short messages.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sorry about that. But this is Fast Break here live for IE Sports Radio, your day for all sports. Had to meet myself right there. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. I run solo tonight. My name is Davidson Crooks. I usually co-host with one Dentarius Locke, but he spent the holidays with his family out of state. So hopefully he will join with us next week or next week's show. But I'll be running solo with y'all here tonight, and let's dive into it. But first, do follow the show on Twitter /X at FastBreakIESR. That's FastBreakIESR. As you saw for the last commercial break we had, the last commercial, do follow iSportsRadio.com. Go to iSportsRadio.com for all your latest shows, news, and feeds. Follow iSports Radio on X/Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And all our shows will be posted in any streaming service you use. Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, Amazon, wherever we're on there. So do follow us on there as well. And like I said, follow the show's page at Twitter at FastBreakIESR as well. So I hope everybody's Thanksgiving went well. Mine went well. Hopefully D-Locks went well when he saw his family. And hopefully y'all out there went well as well. But I want to dive into Feast Week in college basketball. A lot of good action, a lot of good games. Now I wouldn't say upsets were the norm, but a lot of like ranked teams get knocked off and whatnot. Now, you know, in college basketball, what does that actually mean nowadays? If you're going to be real about that, that's a good question. All right, I say for the last 15 years or so, I won't say everything's like level in the men's college side of things, but with the transfer portal, ranking, stuff like that, a lot of guys and the talent be a lot better coming out of high school. You know, your teams are like kind of like more closer than what they were maybe like 30 years ago. So nowadays, you know, yeah, you got Kansas ranked number 1, UConn in top 5, and so forth. But they play some good competition. They could lose some games in a row or have some tough challenges and whatnot. And that's what we saw this past week during Feast Week. A lot of good games, a lot of good action, and some teams that, you know, we still trying to figure it out, you know, in the midst of the season so far. So, circle all the way back to we can go Sunday. Let's go Sunday. Back to Sunday's matchups. Now, last week, I know we didn't talk about much about college basketball, but, you know, going back to Sunday's matchups, you know, ranked matchups, you got St. John's, led by Rick Pitino. They lose to Georgia by 3 in Athens. Okay. Coach White got things rolling for Georgia in a sense. So it's like one of those games like it could go either win there or there. You know what I'm saying? Then the big upset, one of the big upsets most of the week, Kennesaw State over 20 at that time, 24 ranked Rutgers. Coach Petway, second year in the job, got a big win at home to beat the Scarlet Knights. Scarlet Knights, mind you, who got potentially two of the top 3 picks in this upcoming NBA draft, and Harper and Bailey. I know everybody's on the Cooper Flag train and stuff like that, and rightfully so. But it won't surprise me if Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey start maybe get some talk as a top overall pick as well as the season trucks along. So don't be surprised if, hey, some execs put it out there like, hey, yeah, Cooper Flag, it's good, but Ace Bailey maybe got the more long-term potential. Dylan Harper, maybe you see like some quotes float out there, maybe as a clone as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Size and all that stuff. So don't be surprised if we start hearing that, 3 months down the road here, conference play about to get up and rolling by the end of the month and stuff like that. Don't be surprised if I start hearing that. But shout out to Kennesaw State. Shout out to him, Antoine Petway. As a Batman fan, one of my favorite players. When I was younger, I enjoyed watching. He always wore the red shoes when he played for Mark Godfrey. Shout out to him. They won a big-time matchup against Rutgers there at home. And a good momentum win for that program to kind of build something, for towards this rest of the season. And then you have Wisconsin in the Greenbrier Tip-Off Mountain Division to beat Pitt 81-75. Good win for Wisconsin over a good solid Pitt program. And then let's go to Monday. And we got the Mountain Invitations jumping off. Memphis and OT beat UConn 99-97. Now, the controversy that come after that, Dan Hurley, and if we know about Dan Hurley, he can be a little wild and stuff like that in his antics on the sideline. Almost Kim Mulkey light without, dressing up, all that stuff. But, was he justified on foul calls and stuff like that and the foul disparities that he got against Memphis? To me, I don't know. I mean, Memphis got 40 free throws to UConn's 24. I don't know. I mean, not much of a disparity, but you kind of look at the team stats side by side with both of these squads. They damn near shot the same. UConn have rebounded by Memphis by three. UConn 22 assists to Memphis 13. Memphis had 13 turnovers. UConn had 19 points off those turnovers. So you kind of look at everything like points in the paint. UConn had to beat them in that. But, you got to look at the technical fouls. 3 technical fouls goes a long way. And, things like that. I always, say on this show that sometimes the little things kind of go a long way to determine your team's success or not. And sometimes I don't know if Hurley's style and attitude on the sideline hurts his team and whatnot. Now they've won 2 straight NCAA championships. Ain't no disputing that. But I think sometimes, can that style kind of bite you in the long run? Now, I kind of brought up Kim Mulkey. It's her same thing. Can that style kind of bite you in the long run? So far for LSU women's team, everything's good so far. For Hurley and company, who are kind of like favorites maybe going into the tournament, and then now you're getting knocked down 3 losses in a row in this tournament. It's not great for momentum. It's not great for confidence. If I go back, let's see. Losing Memphis to overtime, 99-97. Then come around, lose a 1-point game to a Colorado team that lost a lot of guys to graduations, transfers, and a couple guys to the draft. They lose at 1 point there. You know, we've seen Hurley acting the fool again on the sidelines on that front. Jaminski for Colorado had 12 points, 10 rebounds for the Buffs. They kind of like helped lead the way there. You know, Malone had 16, Hammond had 16. You know, we kind of go by the side-by-side comparisons. You know, 13 free throws for the Huskies to 28 to the Buffs. You know, is there foul disparity there? I don't know. Granted, I didn't fully watch these games because these games came on late. But you kind of watch the highlights and stuff like that, and like it's like up in the air right there. Well, thankfully, no technical fouls on either side. UConn had a 11-point lead against the Buffs. So, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, tight competition. And then they lose to Dayton in the 7th place game, 85-67. Now, you're talking about a Dayton team that should have beat the brakes off North Carolina on their first day of Maui competition, but, you know, I love Anthony Grant, but, you know, that's kind of one of his specials. But they get beat down by Dayton 85-67 there. And, you know, 20 points for Cheeks and 60 points for Alexander off the bench for Dayton. But I go back to the side-by-side team stats. Free throw disparity again. 11 free throw attempts for UConn. 30 for the Flyers. And for the Flyers, though, they shot better than UConn's previous opponents the past couple games. 90% for the line. And that's going to carry you a long way. Shooting 50% from the field. Really rebounded UConn. Especially the defensive side. So, is Dan Harrell getting a fair shake down in Maui? Well, did he get a fair shake down in Maui? I don't know. But sometimes, like I said, go back to his antics. Go back to his antics, Dan Hurley. Could the rest got tired of his antics and didn't call as much on UConn as they should. That's fair to point out. Very, very pointed to point out. Now, you got UConn using 3 straight. Where did they fall on the rankings? They are ranked number 2 as this show is being recorded right now. Losing 3 straight to very good and also ranked opponents. Well, except for Memphis and Dayton. But in Colorado. So losing to 3 unranked opponents, granted all very solid teams. How far do they drop? It's really hard to say, you know. And before the show, I was looking as like where are these teams gonna be ranked at for all this? Because look at the rankings right now. Kansas number 1, UConn number 2, Gonzaga 3, Auburn 4. I'll get to Auburn more in a second. Iowa State 5, Houston 6, Tennessee 7, Kentucky 8, Alabama 9, Marquette number 10. So that's just the top 10 right there. Then you got Duke, UNC, Purdue, Indiana, Cincinnati, Baylor, 17. Florida, still trucking along after Mike Golden's allegations. Arkansas, get to them a little bit. Texas A&M at 20. Creighton at 21. Xavier at 22. Ole Miss 23. Arizona at 24, which they probably drop out. And Mississippi State at 25. So, after reading that, how far does UConn drop in the polls? You have Auburn, who won the whole damn thing, and very impressive too. I made an argument on our Twitter account at Fastbreaker IESR that, I made an argument like, should that be number one? Should Auburn be number one ranked in the country? After their impressive showing in Maui, I think Auburn should be ranked number one, in my humble opinion. Now, I'll get the Jayhawks fans up in here, mad, squalling, stuff like that. But you can't tell me, y'all cannot tell me, in Auburn's run in this Maui tournament against Iowa State, against North Carolina, and in the finals against Memphis, you can't tell me that in that stretch of games that team should not be ranked at the top of the country. And it pains me as an Alabama fan to say that. But I think, after this run, UConn, backsliding like the way they did, I don't have Kansas schedule right in front of me, but if I'm just looking at everything, in a scope real quick, you got to give the Tigers their props. And let me pull up Kansas schedule. And you look at Kansas side of things, they beat Duke 75-72. So in that run between the Maui tournament between Auburn and looking at what Kansas played, they beat Duke 75-72. Okay. Very good win, against a very good Duke team in Vegas. They beat Furman yesterday, 86-51. Now, if you stack Auburn's wins of Iowa State, North Carolina, and Memphis compared to Duke and Furman, y'all take Auburn's side of things and took that into account of why they should be ranked number one. Iowa State, a very good team. Probably a team you're probably looking at least a Sweet 16 matchup. North Carolina. I feel like North Carolina, the slow starts with them, that finally caught up with them. I think Herbert Davis got to get that corrected. Because we kind of saw with matchup with Kansas earlier the year that got down pretty big and then came back almost damn near won the game. In the Maui tournament, like I said, Dayton should have won that game. Dayton beat them down. North Carolina came back and won that game. And then kind of the same story against Auburn. North Carolina got down big, but credit to Auburn, they didn't let them back in the game. And with Carolina, how much you take the stock of that, I don't know. But beating Memphis, who been playing very well, Penny Hardaway got those boys playing. And then when, this boy's playing well, nobody wanted to give Memphis credit. But when Penny's doing bad or not playing well or took up to a standard, everybody got something to say. Looking at you, Jeff Goodman. But anyways, and shout out to the chat. Rob Carlisle brought a good point. We talked about this early in the year. the Houston game. Yeah, Auburn came back and won that game. And then we talked about on the show, the two players had to fight on the plane. And lucky for them, they were still in the state of Alabama and turned around and flew back to Auburn to kind of drop those two guys off. Yeah, we talked about that as well. And lucky and credit to Auburn. I gave credit to them. They let that situation lead the room. They didn't let that, going back, had to wait for the plane to take off, all that stuff again, throw them off schedule on us. So they came back and with the Houston beat Houston. So I kind of look at you take all those things into account. That's why I got Auburn as your potential new number one in the country. They should. I think they may keep Kansas there just because, but I think Auburn deserves heavy consideration for number one. And it should be like an easy cakewalk in the rankings for Kansas to get all the votes there. Auburn should deserve at least to get a good majority of votes as well. Now, Wednesday, Kansas got Creighton in a big-time matchup up in Omaha. Omaha, one of those places, Creighton, that is a tough place to play at. I've been there, used to live up there. Very tough place to play. And I know Kansas will have their fans up there because, the close proximity, all that stuff. But I think the Blue Jays fans will show out and be supportive of their team. Now, that I don't say it's be a trap game. I don't know if that Creighton team would be ranked as is the recording, but will the Kansas team be ranked number one come Wednesday's matchup? And then you're talking about next Sunday, they got Mizzou over in Columbia. Big time heated rivalry. They finally get the swing of playing those guys again. Can they match up there as well? But back to Auburn real quick. Like I said, very impressive win the Maui tournament. Congratulations to those guys on winning that. I know the Iron Bowl didn't go right for them, but this men's basketball program has kind of been like a real bright spot for them for the past few years. With the football program, that really haven't been up to snuff. If we're going to be real about that. And kind of put a bow on the Maui Invitational real quick. Before we go to my first break. We need more in this college basketball. Like a lot of more, very good teams in these tournaments to kind of build some buzz and stuff like that. I'll talk about the Players Era tournament on the other side of things, but very good tournament, very good games, a lot of talking about it. And I hope, the NCAA will find, more of these strong teams to put, there to kind of keep things buzzing about college basketball. Would it be great to have, some of these top prospects down there? Yeah, sure. But, some of these guys, some of these programs, that we have down there, the names of, Bruce Pearl, Penny Hardaway, Dan Hurley, Herbert Davis, Anthony Grant, so forth. I think carried a lot of value, down to Maui, and we got a great tournament out of it. Now, some of y'all probably listening to this and your team didn't win for X reason. I know you're mad, but I think it's a great tournament and one about better my invitations that we had in a very long time. So I enjoyed the Mount Invitational. In my eyes, going over the rest of the scores, like I said, I'll go to the practice area after this break, and then I want to touch on this real quick. Arkansas beat Maryland, Eastern Shore Monday, 109-35. Okay, whatever. On that front, get to Thanksgiving. After I got done watching the Bears and Lions game, Arkansas happened to play Illinois right afterwards. Now, I quote tweeted Kentucky's score after that Maryland game, and I was like, Cal used to do that same crap in Kentucky with when he was at Kentucky. They score these schools that you barely heard of, and they look sexy on the box score and stuff like that. But you always kind of wonder, like, damn, if they play somebody good or talented or half-assed, they can get got. And lo and behold, what we got on Thursday on Thanksgiving was I won't say beat down, but Maryland jumped out to an early big lead, and they never looked back. Never looked back at all. The outside game for Illinois was a killer. 23 points for, if I pronounce this name wrong, I apologize, for Jaconis and Aviscus. Jaconis at 23 points. Viscus, Viscus, I pronounced that wrong, I apologize. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 6 from 9 for 3-point land. Arkansas, on the Arkansas side of things, Zero had 26 points for Arkansas to lead that way, but it didn't really matter because, like I said, Illinois got things rolling and they never looked bad. They didn't start going to backdoor cuts for rolling. And, you know, I know these teams schedule cream puffs and stuff like that before the season, but I think that's been like a Cal MO. Like, since he got Kentucky, got the one and dones in and all that stuff, that he scheduled these guys to make things look good instead of kind of like have the next one up, have the next team up, you know, have the next, next big opponent to kind of test these guys. Then, you come March, whatever, you're not going down the first round and stuff like that. Or you're not, you match up with some team that you're supposed to win and you're struggling against them. I'm not saying you don't have struggles and stuff like that throughout the season. I'm not saying that. But it seems like with Cal-led teams, we saw in the Kentucky area for the past few years, for your Arkansas fan, post this up. If you're an Arkansas fan, you spend all this money bringing Cal in, all this stuff, you hope he's not stuck in his ways what he did in Kentucky down in Fayetteville. And you hope, all these high expectations, stuff like that, and so forth, don't bite you in the ass come March. If you're playing Utah Valley State in the first round. No disrespect to Utah Valley State, but you get my point. Or Austin Peay or something like that. So you hopefully Cal don't be stuck in his ways, carrying these cream puffs. And while it's, you got, your Alabama and Auburn's, scheduling these tough ranked opponents, and then, they make deep runs in the NCAA tournament. Well, Auburn didn't, but you get my point. While you sitting at home after the first weekend. But you look at Kentucky's schedule. Tuesday, they got Miami, the SEC ACC Challenge down in Miami. That game, it's tough to say. Miami's kind of been like a somewhat disappointment so far this year. I think Arkansas could get them. But, we'll see, Arkansas be on the road. After that, they got Texas and San Antonio that Saturday. The following Tuesday on the 10th, They got the GMV Classic against Michigan. Michigan 6-1, another team that could be ranked coming to the season. Next week by this point. Central Arkansas, North Carolina A&T, and Oakland. Now, Oakland made it NCAA tournament this past season. Granted, some of those guys ain't there anymore, but still, I don't know. Cal trying to exact some revenge there, but we'll see. But kind of like I just said about Arkansas, yeah, they played Baylor early in the year, but you kind of look after that. Illinois, it's like your only real tough opponent. Troy, Troy's not nothing to sneeze at. And then, you look at the rest of the schedule for December, only real challenge is Michigan and Miami until you get to conference play. So Arkansas fans, I hope you ready for the Cal experience. There'll be some good highs, and his long-winded self can talk you to some good stuff. But after a while, it wanes a little bit. It'll be right here, but he's a good tease for a good bit. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break real quick. On the other side of things, I do want to talk about the Players Area Tournament and dive more into the rankings and see, like I said, I did say Auburn's going to be number one, but what about everybody else? Then plus, like I said, talked about y'all about why my reasons why the NBA is kind of hit a snag in the ratings for the past couple years. But this is Fast Break Live for iSports Radio. You're the refollow of sports. I'll catch you on the other side.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Galise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports, and I will update you on all that's black and gold. Have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Galise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always willing to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we're back here for IE Sports Radio. Well, Fast Pay for IE Sports Radio. You're the week for all sports. I'm Davidson. Ryan and Solo tonight. D-Locke is out of town with his family during the holiday, so he'll be back with us next week. So safe travels to him, getting back home after his well-deserved break. All right, I did promise to play his era tournament talk real quick. Now, being an Alabama fan, I was looking forward to this tournament because, a lot of good, solid teams in this tournament. And I'm pulled. And mind you, this Players Era tournament, these guys getting paid. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but, these guys are getting paid, a lot of money to participate in this. The winner of this tournament, if y'all don't know, will receive millions in name, image, and likeness earnings. So what that means, I'm trying to pull up the payouts. The winning team stands to gain $1.5 million in name, image, and likeness earnings, which is like very great for these college guys. Let me pull it up. Hang on a second. Come on. But look at this tournament. You had an undefeated Oregon team who we talked about, I think a couple weeks ago, that almost lost their first game to University. If the University of Portland didn't, with the bad, and then they got transferred overtime, and now an Alabama team that lost one game to Purdue, kind of still trying to find that footing with the bench and stuff like that. You had a Houston team. I talk about the last segment, talking about Auburn. They lost to Auburn, but kind of rebounding from that. You got a Rutgers squad who still got a lot to prove, but kind of riding on Harper and Bailey, Texas A&M, San Diego State. So a lot of good teams, in this bracket that, playing for a lot of money. We're going to be real about it. So, a total of $9 million in name, image, and likeness earnings are up for grabs for players on participating teams. The 3-day Thanksgiving week event, which Front Office Sports first reported on March, will consist of 12 total games, splitting the 8 participating teams into 2 separate sub-tournaments. Alabama, Houston, Rutgers, and Notre Dame will play the Impact Tournament, while Creighton, Texas A&M, Oregon, and San Diego State will play in the Power Tournament. And at the time of this recording, Alabama, Houston, Rutgers, Texas A&M, and Creighton were all ranking at AP 25. In September, this tournament operated into a multi-year deal with Warner Brothers. Same Warner Brothers that every time you look up, it's in money trouble and all that stuff. Say they're in debt, but they still shelling out money here and there. Make it make sense. But they struck a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery to broadcast the event on multiple platforms, including TNT, TBS, True TV, and Max, which I watch the games on Max. Given that WBD is also a seasoned broadcaster of the men's March Madness tournament, the network promised to give it our March Madness feel. The event is several high-profile college sports media rights deals that the network has completed in the past year. And as y'all know, they struck to deal to keep the college sports. I think they got some college football coming down the pike as well. They lost the NBA to NBC, but they kind of rebound there doing those things and re-signing the wrestling company AEW to a nice 4-year deal as well. So on that front, so you got those teams there. You got the potential money there. how the distribution works. Each team will receive opportunities to earn up to $1 million each for each NIL activities that will take place outside competition, from autograph signings to charity work. The money is being provided by sponsors, Starbucks, Eli Lilly Company, and MGM Resorts, which you saw the logos there on the court during the tournament. At the end of the tournament, there'll be another $1 million worth of opportunities for all players. Originally, the plan was to provide that extra $1 million in our opportunities for the winner of the tournament. But the NCAA rules prohibit tying NIL deals to a player performance, so the opportunity must be available for all players. After players have done the deals, sponsors will send the money to players' Era Festival's corporate entity, and who will distribute the money to the schools' NIL collectives. At that point, it's up to the coaches to decide which allotment of NIL dollars players receive. So, a lot to play for in this tournament. A lot to, the teams laid out. Some of these schools, I go through, not really for hurting for money like that, but I think it helps in the long way. It's always good to have extra money in total, because with the world of NIL and stuff like that, you kind of need that extra cash to kind of keep, ahead the Joneses of this college basketball world. Now, Oregon got Nike money. So, they ain't really hurting for money there. Alabama, as a resident here, Alabama fan, I know Nate also talked about NIL money and stuff like that in the past, but I think, the way he got the program rolling and stuff like that, I think that will speak for itself. Hopefully here down the pike here soon. Houston, we talked about our boy Tim Fertitta on the show in years past, back on the podcast days. He got a lot of money. He donated a lot to the program, so nothing here and there. Texas A&M, we know they got money as well. Great, nice to live out there. Private school, they got money. Rutgers, I'm not too sure about, how they NIL works and who backs them and whatnot. Notre Dame speaks for itself. San Diego State, I don't know their power backers there as well on that front of things. Let's see. So, yeah. So I get all that out the way. You look at this tournament, man. Very fun to keep up with. Very fun to, let me get this up. Very fun to keep up with. Very fun to, watch and unfold and stuff like that. And, for the two teams to make it to the final, somewhat surprising. But you kind of see how the groups were matched up and whatnot. I think the folks probably look at a different finals matchup, but for an Oregon team that's been kind of under the radar and undefeated, which should be ranked in the top 25 come Monday, Tuesday, shout out to them for winning the whole thing. They took advantage of Alabama's lack of size, attack downhill, and, do, some simple mistakes, stuff like that, not boxing out by Alabama's bigs. They won the game. I was sitting there watching this, come off the high of the Iron Bowl win earlier, and, transition to focus on basketball. I thought Alabama, got the motivation of beating Auburn, seeing the Auburn win, Alabama beat Auburn, and you're going to carry that momentum to play Oregon that night. And at one point, they came out pretty good on calls smoking, but after a while, Oregon, we all know about Dana Altman, how tough his teams play. Oregon didn't back down. At one point, Oregon had a double-digit lead, but you playing against Nate Oats in Alabama, that double-digit lead don't stay there for long. Now, Dana kind of took out Alabama for a little bit. Latrell Whiteshell, they haven't said what the injury was yet. I haven't checked here lately, but it's like a non-contact injury. Grant Hill on commentary maybe saying it's Achilles. has nothing been really confirmed yet on that. Let me pull it up. You know, they are saying Achilles, but nothing's been really confirmed yet. I'm looking now, nothing's been provided yet. You know, so they are doing MRI. Once he returns Tuscaloosa, probably send down to Birmingham to get that done, and we'll see how that goes with him there. But once he, slipped on that stuff, trying to go for the fall of his shot, kind of turned the, I won't say no pun intended, turned the tide for the team, but kind of took on focus for a little bit, and kind of lost a little bit that outside shooting that. Let's be real, this Alabama team, I don't say lacking this year, but it kind of turned its ugly head in a sense. Mark Sears did not play great at all in this game. And then, saw the last sequence in the game, threw the ball to the late to Grant Nelson, who made the shot, but it was like a second late. But I was sitting there watching, like, damn, dog. Every time you pulled up and shot that 3-pointer, it was like 5 seconds left in the game. I know you weren't shooting well and stuff like that. And you got a great look, to Grant Nelson, but like you're like 2 seconds too late on that one, man. So, Alabama didn't shoot great, and pull up the box score on that. But yeah, Alabama didn't shoot great. 12 for 38 for 3-point land. And, they made the markers in the 3-point part. 12 for 27, 64 from the field in general, 42% right there. They had rebounded Oregon, 21 assists for them. But like I said, Mark says 1 for 11 for 3-point land, 3 for 14 shooting overall. Like I said, they're boxing out and stuff like that on Oregon's bigs, especially on Biddle, who had 19 and 9 in that game. Was kind of like a dagger right there when he did that follow up. Bartholomew had 22 points off the bench for Oregon, 4 for 5 for 3-point land. They didn't shoot the ball well for 3-point land, but like I said, it's their toughness and stuff like that, and inside play that gets them over the hump. But for an Alabama team that kind of really remade this roster, still got a lot of questions with this squad. Now I know they missed some guys, and right cell going out is not will probably be out for a long time. It's going to help matters. But you fought with Clifford, Amarji will help things down low, but it really haven't seen too much of a difference there. And plus, he gets foul trouble and stuff like that. And now you're going deep to your bench to like Jaron Stevenson, who came in out the bench, played pretty hot, but he fouled out. And Stevenson ain't like a, inside guy as it is. And then after that, you kind of, left pretty butt naked, down low. And Oregon took advantage of that. Rutgers, they almost took advantage of that. Going back to Wednesday matchup. And, if it was a young and experienced stuff like that, they could have beat Alabama. So, again, we came to the season, Alabama being like a Final Four team once again, and kind of see how things go. As me speaking as an Alabama fan, I'm not too sure about that. And like I said, Racho going out, It goes for the other young guys they got stepping up, but in that guard spot. But other than that, this defense gonna need a lot of work. It needs a lot of work. I know the offense is great, but I know Nate always kind of harp on being on the defensive side of things, but in some years it don't really translate like as he wanted, as he wants. But back to Oregon, they should be ranked coming after this. And, if I look into rankings right now, if I do my rankings right now, I had Auburn number 1. I had Kansas number 2. How far do you drop Connecticut after 3 straight losses in the Maui tournament? Tough to say. Do you put them outside the top 10? Is a big question. Iowa State took a loss in the tournament. Houston took a loss in the Players era tournament as well. It took a couple losses actually in the Players tournament as well. Alabama took a loss in the finals to a very good Oregon team. So this top 25 is going to be chaos. UNC, they beat Dayton, but they got beat down by Auburn. Do they take a tumble? So there's a lot of questions in this top 25 that make you go like, damn, where is everybody going to be seated at after this? Arizona, I think Arizona is probably the easiest team to drop out of the top 25 if you're looking at this early on. They're very easy to drop off. After that, it's like playing musical chairs where to put everybody. Oregon will get in. I think that's a given. After that, I don't know where to replace everybody else. You keep Alabama in the top 10. Granted, they got 2 losses now. Granted, to 2 part of the programs, but you keep them there. Duke took a loss to Kansas, granted by 3 points. Do you keep them? Do you slide them down? Does Carolina drop? Potentially. Arkansas. They got beat down by Illinois. Do they drop? I don't want to say they drop out, but do you put them to 20 somewhere? A lot of good questions, to ask about the top 25 and what they're going to look like. And it could be a lot of angry fan bases after this, top 25 drops here tomorrow. But like I said, I enjoy the Players Era tournament. I enjoy, these guys getting more money opportunities, stuff like that. Doing the things out in Vegas, stuff like that, autograph sections. It's very good for them to earn money off their name, image, and likeness. The guys like, the dual freshman in Rutgers, Mark Sears, those guys, for example, like kind of like the big names there. But, if they're going to continue to do this, get some future guys that may be going to the league, get a couple of those guys in those tournaments for next year. So you kind of keep that name, image, and likeness going and use that to y'all's advantage, for this tournament come next year. So I like the Paris Era tournament. Very solid basketball. Like I said, I like the value heritage a little bit more. But if they're going to continue to do this, gotta get some solid teams out there. Get some solid programs out there. It's kind of hard to predict the future, what teams are going to look like, next season, whatever. But, you got to keep a pulse of everything and see who is what, who got who and all that stuff. And then make your determination from there. Well, overall, very, very solid tournament that we saw out in Vegas. All right, we're going to take our last commercial break. On the other side of this, last topic, I'm going to talk about why. And I know I talk a little bit NBA, but I want to dive into why, I think the NBA is kind of on a backside right now. But this is Fast Break on Live Fire Sports Radio, your 3 for all sports. I'll catch you on the other side.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you with the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we're back here for Fast Break here live for IE Sports Radio, your direct feed in sports. Before I dive to my last subject here tonight, like I said, do follow the show's page at Twitter/X at Fastbreak at IESR. That's Fastbreak IESR. I know D-Lock, not with us tonight, but do follow him on Twitter. And I think the same handle on Instagram as well. Do follow him on Twitter/X and Instagram at this right here, Black-813. That's Black-813. I know he'd be talking about his Bucks. I think they did win against the Panthers. I haven't checked here. Let me check. Let's be on the safe side. Yes, they did win overtime. Okay. Yeah. So they did. His Bucks did win. They sent him pretty up in the NFC South, so I know he'd be talking about that when he gets a chance. So do follow him on Twitter/X at Black-813 on there as well. All right. Before I get out of here, I did want to talk about this. Is there an NBA backslide with the current product? Now, I've been a lifelong basketball fan, NBA fan for most of my life. All right. 36 years old. Been watching basketball forever. I played it. Currently I coach it. So, it's in the blood. And for me, everybody wondering why the ratings are down and stuff like that. Why the NFL is gaining king in popularity and all that stuff. So much so that, as seen years past, the NFL did Thanksgiving, NBA did Christmas. You know, yeah, hockey do their own special stuff like that, and baseball rule the summer. Now you kind of see the NFL just kind of like big boying to everything now. International games, Thanksgiving. Granted, still got Thanksgiving on law, but now Black Friday games, and now they're doing Christmas games on Netflix. Now, granted, sometimes the NFL schedule falls into Christmas, stuff like that. But usually in years past, the NFL, out of common courtesy for the NBA, they push all the games to if Christmas fell on Sunday, you saw all the games on Christmas Eve for the most part. But now, and the NFL recognizes that, you know what, we've been nice for too long. And why not just stick our hand and see how, and gauge the temperature, see how it goes. And look where we're at right now. The NFL is incorporating in the NBA territory. And I look at it like this, like, what's contributing to this backslide like this that got the NFL kind of stomping to your backyard? Christmas, NBA Christmas, is like one of the NBA's biggest days. And they're letting the NFL just come in, like big boying themselves and put their feet on the couch and daring them to leave. So let's look at what has got to this point here. For me, I think I look at a couple things. I think I look at, maybe too much accessibility, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that, and I talked about, on my show before, the Crooks process, like, social media is a blessing and a curse at the same time. And I think, in the words of John Amici said years ago on Dan Levitar's show, if y'all know who John Amici is, former NBA big man, journeyman, played for the Jazz, Orlando Magic, and I feel like I missed another team, but the guy, well, and Shaq said it in his book that he almost, they trying to sign him with the Lakers, but he didn't want to sign with the Lakers because he didn't care about the money, all that stuff. And this is like during the Lakers championship runs and stuff like that, to be their starting four. And he didn't want to sign, and he stayed in Utah for less money, but it is what it is. But he said a thing about this that always kind of stuck with me. And he talked about this before, like, I had fans yell at me on the sidelines, tell me I sucked, and I said to myself, I'm playing the NBA, you on the sidelines. And now I would kind of look at it now when I'm in my accessibility. I think we got too many, and now we got so many, like, thousands and millions of folks just constantly criticizing these players, constantly water down the product, that so much so that even if you try to gain the casual viewer, they hear about these guys or whatever and don't really want to tune in. Like, we hear the constant, like, as a Laker fan, you hear the constant trashing of, like, a Gabe Vincent, for example. And granted, yeah, Gabe Vincent had played well, but you hear the constant, badgering of players and stuff like that, and so much so that, you're trying to gain a casual viewer. Well, and this person's on X, whatever, and kind of look up who's Gabe Vincent, and they look it up. Well, Damn, people calling this dude suck. He's in the NBA. He make all his millions of dollars. What's the point of that? And granted, yes, I've done my fair share of criticism, but I think it's like a more concept of the game. But it's like, if you're doing it constantly over the past few years, and like I said, I just using Davidson as an example, but you kind of see other examples around the league and stuff like that. And to a point, you kind of look and see, like, are you getting viewers out of this? Is it the constant diluting of everybody having an opinion hurting your league? Think about that. If y'all got a business and stuff like that, and yeah, the business may be doing okay, but you always got haters trashing it, and you can't find a way to get growth. You gotta calm down the haters. You gotta find a way to calm down the haters and the outside noise. Kind of lead me to this: like, is the play in the court the best? Has the play in the court kind of really diminished for the past few years? And like I mentioned before, I coach youth basketball. Over the past few years, the way we see the NBA play, the 3-point looks, stuff like that, shoot at will, that's kind of really trickled down to the youth levels. Guys, these young guys just want to chuck up threes for the most part. And a lot of them don't want to go to intangibles and stuff like that. None of them want to be like defensive stoppers or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying just be a straight up defensive stopper at a lower level. No, but they don't be that type of player. I always tell kids, coming up to the programs and stuff like that, like, if you work on do these things certain well in tryouts and stuff like that, once you get into the team and stuff like that, you can work on your other things, like your shooting, ball handling, stuff like that. Other area aspects of your game once you get access inside to the hen house, so to speak. Some of the kids don't want to do that. And then, they see the outside shooting of like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, the scoring and stuff like that. Shooting at will. If you watch college level and, Nate Oates in that system, they see that, trying to emulate that. And that style of play has kind of really trickled in the NBA the past few years. The post presence is gone. Damn near. I can't tell you who's a real inside threat offensively down low in the NBA. You really can't. I mean, there's Joel Embiid. You can say Joel Embiid, but you can say at times, he can hang out at the 3-point line a lot. I expect that, at a lot more out of Karl-Anthony Towns, but that never would materialize, and he stayed out on the 3-point line. Not wrong expanding your game to the 3-point line, but damn it, with the way the NBA went, why not take advantage of the inside? The big man game has diminished in basketball a lot, to the point, like, if the 5-man is just regulated now to a defensive dude and garbage player in a sense. You catch rebounds, you go up, alley-oop, stuff like that. No post preference, no plays run for you, all that stuff. It's done. It's cooked. You really don't have that big man presence. I would say Victor Wembanyama, but he plays outside a lot. And he's very good at it. Don't get me wrong. He's very good at it. But y'all can't, all y'all look at me right now can't say to me, y'all want to have a 7'5", granted how skinny he is. Y'all want to have a 7'5" guy, down low, dominating down low. That can reach the rim at ease. That towers most bigs in this league. If they're playing the Pelicans tomorrow, the Pelicans really had no size down low, you couldn't tell me y'all want to have that down low damn near 80% of the time. You couldn't do that like 35 years ago. If you told a Shaq, hey man, you be playing out a little perimeter more and stuff like that. Yeah, New Orleans, they don't got that much size. Everybody's hurt. Zion's out, all that stuff. No, you be trying to feast down there. You trying to at least get 50 and 15 down low and foul all those guys out. Stick a Najee Marshall on me. We're all 6'6". Boom, bam. Brandon Ingram on me. Breaking, posting down from the elbow to the block, dunk on him. You don't got that in the NBA no more. You really don't. You don't got the big guy. The big guy presence is gone. And yes, while the outside shooting is fine, but at points, if you're cold, you're cold. And at points that sometimes in the NBA, it feels like, pickup games at the Y. Or LA Fitness, where even, dub it. So I think the play on the court is kind of diminished on that side of things. The more young guys coming in and them taking more time to develop and stuff like that, it's kind of really don't have to play on the court as well. Like you get these young guys, you draft them, and expect to be like the next Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, whatever. And these guys ain't ready to give you good contributing minutes. And that suffers on the play court. You sit these guys out there, and they're not really ready like that. Going back to the Lakers, as an example. Max Christie been in the Lakers for a good few years now. Really ain't show for it. And then you look at Dalton Knecht. Guy's been in college for 4 years, season scorer, come in, has done the same thing. Hit a career high this year, 37 points. Season guy coming out of college. Guy is 18, drafted in the second round. It really didn't show much of college to begin with. I ain't trying to pick on Max, but you gotta look at these things. And the GMs around the league over the years have helped contribute to that. And then you kind of wonder why some of these teams are still stuck in the same positions as they are years later. Look at the Wizards. Prime example. Didn't win a damn game here in October. And look at how they've been drafting the past few years. Look at the Pistons. We talked about them last year. Look at the losing streak they did. All the young guys they drafted and trying to hope and potential and stuff like that. Look at their play. Now, some of that is coaching as well. But like some of these guys coming in the league ain't just ready up to snuff yet. J.D. Davidson for the Boston Celtics, who's playing in the G League right now, playing a good couple years in the G League now. He's tearing up, scoring 30-point plus games and stuff like that. But he was a second-round pick for a reason. He wasn't ready yet. Now, a couple years in the G League, where we're at now. Look at Bronny. I don't know what the hell the Lakers doing, but what are we doing here? He's not ready. And we talked about it on the show before. Should have stayed in school for at least another year. So I think the play on the court has really kind of diminished the help the NBA's backslide of things here for the past few years. For me, another point, real quick, streaming issues. I live in North Alabama, Athens, Alabama, to be exact. The closest NBA teams to me are the Memphis Grizzlies and the Atlanta Hawks. Now, while using League Pass, I can't watch these two teams because they're my quote-unquote local teams. Now, granted, y'all saw me saying, okay, well, how far are these cities away from me? 4 hours apiece. And I can't watch these teams because they're local and for whatever reason. And this has been going on for years. Especially y'all been watching Hawks games and stuff like that. This stuff has been going on for years with, trying to watch them and stuff like that. Like, it used to be Fox Sports. Now, it was Bally. Now it's like FanDuel TV, where the hell it is. It's always an issue for me trying to watch the Hawks. I can't go to League Pass, which a lot of people shell a lot of money for, and you can't click on one of the broadcasts to watch the damn Hawks play, the damn Toronto Raptors or something. It's an issue. That's the issue. And then, in using the NBA app to watch League Pass and stuff like that, they sign you out all the damn time. You can't log in. I just used it this yesterday. I can't just have it, boom, click on it, log in. I gotta re-log in all the damn time. It's a hassle. Sometimes the streaming kick you out and stuff like that. It's a hassle. It's like a big hassle trying to watch NBA games. In which, compared to the NFL, excuse me, you don't have those issues too much. Lucky for me, I live local. My team's the Tennessee Titans. I can watch it on my TV, no issues. But for other people, they don't seem to have issues watching their team personally. NBA, you always hear these issues with this. Like, if you're in LA watching the Lakers game, sometimes if you ain't local, watching I don't know if they still show them in KCLA. Somebody correct me later on. But if you don't got what's the service they use? I think it's Spectrum. Then you got issues. You can't watch the games. It's like a big hassle just trying to watch NBA games. Like, I should get my remote, flip it to any game I want to watch. No issues at all. No blackout issues, nothing like that. I should watch any NBA game I watch if I fork money for this service. And the NBA has failed the fan base in that for the past, I won't say past couple years, but it's been longer than that. And I think folks are tired of it, and no reason why their ratings are down like that. People are using illegal streaming sites to get the game coverage they want with no hassles. You might have, click off a couple sites, but other than that, you have no hassles there. And then lastly, for me, why the NBA is having that backslide, rating issues, stuff like that, the personalities to me. I think the personalities that talk about the game, stuff like that, they don't help matters as well to a point. If you're talking about just breaking down the game, stuff like that, they don't help. ESPN First Take, they don't help matters when you just talk about the Lakers, LeBron, Lakers, throwing the Clippers and stuff like that, the Warriors. You feel like, those, like these TV stations kind of just talk about the same teams. Especially kind of, spreading love and stuff like that. Talk about the Cavs. At one point we're undefeated. The Warriors, granted, the Warriors, but playing very well in the top of the West. OKC Thunder, showing them more love and stuff like that. Kind of spreading the wealth and talking about these teams, stuff like that. If you ESPN trying to sell yourself as like the king of all sports and one-stop shop for all your sports talk, if you click on the channel, you just talking about the same damn teams or same damn topics. And a lot of people fed up with that, and you kind of wonder why myself, D-Locke, and here on IE Sports Radio, we're doing these type of shows to kind of talk to y'all, give y'all what y'all want. Not just here at IE Sports Radio, but you just look around YouTube, type in LA Lakers talk. You see like a whole host of channels talk about the Lakers. So why won't I listen to Stephen A. Smith saying outlandish things? Why don't I just go here, get what I need from so-and-so, or here, especially here, talk about the Lakers, instead of, listen to Stephen A. just talk bullcrap. I get on Twitter, Kendrick Perkins saying silly stuff. And he gets rewarded new contracts. Me personally, I'm one big fan of this guy, but I don't think you see him, give him a coach kids to coach. I don't think he can coach. But what's that dude's name? I forgot his name, but guy recently got let go for ESPN. With the analysts and stuff like that, analytics dude. It's like some of the personalities that they get talking about the NBA and stuff like that suck. Malika Andrews. Nobody really likes her. She said does some shady reporting. Nobody really likes her. And they see her, they click off. That don't help things. So they get these folks on here, for whatever reason, and they talk about the product. Michelle Beadle. That's another one. People see her, click off. Kendrick Perkins, click off. Stephen A. Smith, click off to a point. I like the Inside NBA crew, but at one point when like Shaq joined that crew, it kind of brought it down a little bit for a while. Like Charles Barkley, but sometimes he says some things that make you go upside his head. So everybody contributes, the pricing out, going to the games and stuff like that. I agree with you. Some of these tickets prices are high and stuff like that. And the cost, concessions, all that good stuff, parking and all that contributes as well. Sometimes I want to sit home and watch the game. I don't look at some of these folks talking basketball because they suck at it, or they give hot takes that really, really suck. And it's not really helping the league at all. Like back when I was growing up, a lot of these guys were out of sight, out of mind. If you're not regional to that area, you're not hearing a lot of these guys' takes. Skip Bayless. Oh, Skip Bayless. He's another one for the past few years that really didn't help the product at all. And he said the most outlandish crap at all, of all. He doesn't help. He really didn't help matters. It's constant LeBron bashing bashing the other athletes as well. And I wish kind of more guys would kind of G-check them, but, they didn't for whatever reason. But some of these personalities that get, for these shows and whatnot to talk about the league, to educate the casuals, the hardcore folks, really don't help the league's growth. And I'm kind of surprised Adam Silver and company really kind of haven't put their hand in that more. If they got Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson out the paint for criticizing how the NBA is and stuff like that, surely they can do this with other folks as well. Van Gundy's back coaching, Mark Jackson is doing whatever. But if they can, push Van Gundy and Mark Jackson out the way, surely they can do that with some of these other folks that are not helping the league's overall, I guess, gatekeepers and message sayers to the mass audience. That's not helping things at all. So those are my reasons why I think the NBA is on a backslide in ratings and stuff like that. And what can they do to fix it? That's probably for another show. But I think for me, the product on the court got to be better. Play on the court got to be better. I know the NBA kind of hang on personalities. Seems like Anthony Edwards is kind of like the next booming personality, a player they can market. I would say Zion, John Morant, but they're like two knuckleheads that can't stay out their own way. And we talked on last week's show that, Zion had the hunger to be that guy in the NBA. John Morant, I think so. Zion, that's a different story. But they may have got something to Anthony Edwards to be one of the new faces in the league. Problem is, for him to get that shine, you still got LeBron, Steph, KD. Those guys still kind of hanging around. So we can't see the potential of that if you still got those three guys I just mentioned still hanging around the league. And then if those guys get out of the way, getting Victor Wembanyama shine. That's one of the faces. Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, John Morant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Devin Booker, Paolo Banchero, Spider Mitchell in Cleveland, Tatum and Brown up in Boston. You get my point. And then some of them maybe younger guys like LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Franz Wagner really showing out. It should be named Eastern Conference Player of the Month. It should be announced here soon. He's played very well and carried the Magic since Powell's injury happened earlier this season. The league got a lot of work to do. And, I'm not saying the other leagues are perfect, but a lot of people have been pointing out a lot of issues for a lot of years in the NBA, and they still think, everything whole hum and stuff like that, and try and blame a couple things here that are affecting the ratings. Now, dog, there's a lot of things going on with your league that you don't know about or you choose to ignore. And you gotta get point to the wonder that some of these owners are going to kind of try and make some calls. Say, hey man, I don't think you may be fit for this. We gotta get somebody else in. And I don't think it would be that Mark Tatum dude either. Maybe not. But maybe they get something else in there that kind of turn things upside down for this league. But this has been our show. I'm surprised I went this long without D-Locke, but It happens like that sometimes on that front. But thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Got a lot to talk in tonight. I enjoyed all y'all that listened. Hopefully, D-Locke will be back with us next week. Like I said, I already plugged his Instagram, but do follow his Instagram and X/Twitter account at Black-813. That's Black-813. Do follow the show's page at Twitter/X at Fastbreak IESR. That's Fastbreak IESR. Do check out IE Sports Radio for all your latest.com, IESportsradio.com for all your latest shows, news, and feeds. Football season winding down, college football winding down. So do look up for IESportsradio.com for all your shows, news, and feeds. A lot of regional shows, in the network. So be on the lookout for those there. Do follow me on Twitter at Spawn4288. That's Spawn4288 on there. Do talk about my Titans, stuff like that, retweet a lot of stuff, wrestling, all that type of stuff. So do follow me on there. I do have a show on the side called the Crooks Process. If you see my name here, it's the Crooks Process. Do look that up on Instagram and Facebook. You see the CP logo there. I know I promised, a post-election episode on there, so be on the lookout for that. The Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, Drake suing his record label and stuff like that. I did post a little meme on that on the Instagram page, so do look out for that on there as well. I think that meme kind of simulate everything, just sums up everything on that front of things. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, till next week, more basketball talk. Post feast week, what the records will look like in the sports of college basketball, and the NBA. Paul George back in the fold for the Sixers on that front. The NBA Cup, the Lakers got eliminated, so we'll see. How they're gonna shake up and stuff like that. That's another thing I meant to talk about. The NBA Cup ain't really popping like that. So I know Aaron's still trying to shake up right there, but the NBA Cup ain't really popping like that. Let's just put more stakes on the line, something like that. But we'll dive into a later day. But we'll talk to y'all next week. Y'all have a great night. Happy holidays. And we'll see you then.